Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Temple of Aphrodite by Adotis. It is time for our weekly tarot reading. This reading that we do once a week, every Saturday, is not really to answer any question in particular, but rather is to give us a message from the goddess, something that we can look to guide us through the following week. If you do find this useful, then I would hope that you will please like, share, and subscribe to what we do. You can find us on many different social media, and yeah, I really hope that this is helping someone out there at the very least. So let us begin. We have shuffled our deck, and for those of you who might be curious, I have here what deck I'm using. It is the Goddess of Love Tarot. So, there's that. Alright. So I'm going to have these turned in such a way that to you, it'll be the right side round. And I can already see that this one is going to be inverted. Or wait, I have these backwards. Let me turn them around. There we go. Alright. So, same order. Same cards. Alright, so we have our first card here. It is the moon. Next, we have an inverted Knight of Wands. And then our last card is the Nine of Wands. So, looking at them, what do we know? So, the moon is a card of intuition. It reminds us that not everything can be concluded in a logical manner, and that we should therefore follow our gut feeling. It also tells us that there is a change coming. Just as the moon will wax and wane, a change is coming probably in our spiritual life. However, we need to be cautious because the moon is a reflection of the sun. Thus, moonlight is rather diffuse and it will hide our path, specifically from our logic and sight. So we're going to have to feel our way through to our destination. Next, the Witch of Wands, which has replaced the Knight of Wands. That would normally tell us to embrace our sexuality and the physicality of our pleasures, to reach out and be with those with whom we love. But since it is inverted, it will tell us instead to look inwardly. So we must look within to explore our inner realms of pleasure. This might be to focus on how we feel about certain topics, whether they're, kinks or fetishes, or if there's something even mundane. Not everything that brings us pleasure is necessarily sexual, although a lot of mundane things can be turned erotic. So, focus in on how you feel about these things, and that could be, doing research, reading up on something, just pondering, ruminating, mulling it over, and then, of course, taking whatever that is and you then cultivating it mentally, and basically the root of it being those things which either makes us joyful or fills us with pleasure. So you want to do that inwardly. And then the Nine of Wands tells us that we need to take a step back for perspective. You might be in a situation and you might be very hot-blooded, hot-tempered. Your passions might be out of control. As is illustrated by the flames on the card, The only way that you're going to navigate around this is to breathe, pause, temper your spirit, take a step back, and assess your options. Take a look around. Basically, it's wanting us to look for an alternative angle, and this is especially true if you are in some kind of a negative pattern. Um, probably trying to do the same thing over and over and over to get out of that pattern. That's not working. Now we need to go to plan B. We need to figure something else out. And ideally, we would want to do this from a place of logic. And if we can, we want to try to do it dispassionately, because passion will cloud logic. So, you might have seen that there's some contradictory stuff in this reading between the three cards. So, putting the cards together, the picture that they paint for me is a path that is inwardly taken, where intuition will outweigh logic. But you're only going to be able to reach your destination if you can overcome and take ownership of your passions. And that the only way you'll do that is by trying something different. So, logic may dictate a full frontal assault, and you might want to go in there feet first, head first, dive straight into it. Well, we can't do that. Because you got to remember, the moonlight is hazy, and it will cloud your logic. Not necessarily that it will inflame your passions. The predicament you're in is what's flaring up your passions. But you need to listen to your intuition and let your intuition get you through to those different angles. And the Witch of Wands comes in because it's an inward path. And while it doesn't necessarily have to be something erotic that you are fighting against, it might very well be something that normally would bring you pleasure, but is now, because of whatever circumstance, bringing you pain. So you have to use your intuition in this situation, but you also have to use it in such a way where logic is not completely thrown out the door, and you have to overcome it by owning it. Whatever it is within you. Your mind is a cavalcade of mystery, of shades of gray, of emotion, of logic, and it's up to you to order those things. So, regardless of how you might feel about it, your gut has a feeling too, and that's what you really should be looking at. So let your intuition guide you as opposed to your straight up just passions. So these will be sitting on my altar for the rest of the week. Ruminate on them. Think about what I've said. If you think my interpretation is inaccurate or it needs tweaking, feel free to comment. And let me know what you think about it. If you have a different interpretation, that's fine. I would be more than happy to hear it. And again, folks, I really hope this is helping someone. I hope that these words, which are coming from, essentially from the divine. I've shuffled the deck like 5 times before I turned on the camera here. So, I don't think it's mere chance. I think that these messages that are coming through are here for a reason. And again, if you like what we're doing, please like, share, subscribe, comment. All that stuff helps us out. You can find us on multiple social medias: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads. We're on Medium. So, yeah, reach out to us. Let us know what you think. And until next time, blessed be.